Welcome. The purpose of this tutorial is to introduce you to the basic concepts involved with using the DesignBuilder drawing tools. We will use the drawing tools to create two simple blocks, one on top of the other. During the tutorial, we will introduce you to creating a new project, creating a building by adding blocks, block dimensioning protocols, drawing options, direction snaps and drawing guides, selecting the correct drawing plane, and finally point and edge snaps. Further information on the topics covered in this tutorial is available in the comprehensive DesignBuilder help file. We'll first create a new project, and I'll call it Drawing 1 and confirm with OK. I left the remaining options set to default, as we'll cover these in other tutorials. This approach will apply to all data entry functions throughout the tutorial, unless entering the data is an integral part of creating the geometry. Note that we start at site level in the navigation panel, and only the layout, location and region tabs are shown in the edit screen. The location tab is where all geographical and weather related information is entered, and the region tab enables the legislative region to be set. These will be covered in more detail in later tutorials. We'll now add a building, which we can do from either the Edit menu, the Info panel, or the toolbar. I'll now minimise the Info panel to maximise the edit screen size. I'll use the toolbar option and accept the defaults by clicking OK. The crosshair cursor at this stage denotes that the Add Block option is selected. I just need to mention the block dimensioning protocols used by DesignBuilder before we carry on. Ground and intermediate floor block heights are defined as top of floor to top of floor. The upper floor block height is defined as top of floor to the soffit for pitched roofs, and top of floor to top of roof for flat roofs, i.e. the thickness of the flat roof is included in the upper floor block height. Block horizontal dimensions are defined to the external dimensions of each facade. You should consider these points when setting the block heights and wall thicknesses. Before starting to create the geometry, we need to check that the drawing options settings match those required for our model. Only those options relevant to this tutorial will be discussed. Information on the others can be found in later tutorials or from the help file. Building blocks are used to define the building geometry, and the extruded form option is normally used. When drawing on the horizontal plane, this extrudes the building plan to the set height to create a 3D block if the autocomplete block box here is ticked. If this box is not ticked, or you're not in the horizontal plane, the cursor will change to a drag face cursor, and you define the extent of the extrusion by typing in the dimension or selecting manually with the mouse. Change the block height to 3 meters and the wall thickness to 0.3 meters by clicking in the relevant box and editing the data. Note that the data used to define the current block will become the default data the next time Add Block is selected. We will draw the block using the polygon and straight line options under the perimeter header. Move the cursor back towards the edit screen center and start the first block with a left click. The first block will automatically be drawn from ground level, i.e. Z equals 0. Direction or axis snaps enable lines to be drawn parallel to the relevant axis. Note how the colour of the line changes to match the axis once it snaps parallel to that axis. and also how the crosshair cursor changes orientation when the line is parallel to the Z-axis. These can be switched on and off in the Direction Snaps tab under Drawing Options. Here. We can define the length of each wall by left-clicking with the mouse when the correct dimension is shown, or with the line parallel to the correct axis, type in the length in meters and press enter. We'll now create a simple T-shaped block, and the first y-axis dimension in meters for this will be 30. Type in the number 30, and notice that the type dimension appears at the top of the Drawing Options menu in the key-in box here. Press enter to draw the wall. Now move the cursor in the direction of the x-axis and note the appearance of the dotted drawing guide, which appears in the current drawing plane aligned with the end and midpoints of existing objects. Enter a length of 20. Continue entering points along the x and y axes at 10 meter spacings to create our T-shape. From this point on, we can finish off the block using the drawing guides by left-clicking at the relevant endpoints, denoted by the intersection. When you finish the block by left-clicking at the start point, it automatically extrudes to the set height. Once the block is extruded, the Add Block function automatically becomes live again. See here. Ready to draw the next block, and the new block is now shown in the navigation panel here. We'll now add a second block to create the first floor using the same drawing options. Moving the cursor around the first block, you will notice that each surface changes colour as the crosshair cursor is moved onto it. Also notice that the orientation of the crosshair cursor changes to match the plane. When we're drawing in 3D, we must take care to create the geometry in the correct plane, and the changing surface colours and cursor orientation help us with this. We ensure that we're in the correct plane by moving the cursor onto the required plane so that the surface is highlighted, then pressing and holding the Shift key to lock the drawing plane to the highlighted plane. Notice how the desired plane stays highlighted with the Shift key depressed, even when the cursor is moved away from that surface. We can now create the second block by tracing round the perimeter of the first block with the aid of point snaps. The available snaps can be turned on and off using the options under the Point Snaps header in Drawing Options. Placing the cursor on the edge of the first block turns the centre of the cursor red to denote the edge snap. The red edge snap marker turns green at the end points and cyan at the centre points of edges, like so. Note that the cyan colour appears green here due to the highlighted cursor. Keeping the Shift key depressed, locate the desired snap point and left click to start the block. Once you've entered the start point, you can release the Shift key and continue to trace round the block using the end snap points. Once the block is extruded, press the Escape key to cancel the Add Block function, and the crosshair cursor is replaced by the normal arrow cursor. Further information on these topics is available in the comprehensive Design Builder help file and other tutorials.